Thank you, Senator Whitehouse, and thank you to the panel for joining us today. Grateful for your testimony, and my heart goes out to you for what your family's been through. A case in Georgia, a woman named Janet Paulson, shot 6 times by her husband after a temporary restraining order had been issued. She survived. She said afterwards that seeking protection, she'd gone to local law enforcement after the TRO had been issued, asking them for counsel on how to defend herself. And the officer held up the TRO, put a pen through it to demonstrate a bullet hole, and advised her to purchase a firearm to protect herself. Now, the question before us is whether women should be protected from spouses and intimate partners who pose a direct threat to their safety, whom a judge has found poses a direct threat to their safety and issued a restraining order. Ms. Valente, based upon your personal experience and expertise, can you comment on how such a policy would or would not save the lives of Americans whose partners pose a direct threat to their lives where a TRO has been issued?
I think it would make a great difference. I have to tell you that when we see, and when the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence collects information about all the domestic violence homicides that occur each year. We have a project called Remember My Name, where we remember those who were killed. And I have to tell you, when we look at the facts of the case, so many of them are related to a temporary protection order because everyone says there's nothing you can do about firearms at that time. There are better mechanisms in place because the law actually addresses final protective orders. So in that case, it looks different. They may have developed a system for having the police go back, or the sheriff go back with the respondent and pick up the firearms, and also inform them that they cannot purchase any others, having compliance reviews, having them check in with parole or probation officers. All of these are wonderful pieces that work, and the grant program in here can help make that work. But until we pass this law, until this law happens, we don't have that opportunity.
Thank you, Ms. Valente. And I want to clarify, the officer in Cobb County, Georgia, was doing a service to Ms. Paulson, warning her that the TRO did not protect her.
It does not protect her unless the law stands behind enforcement, and that's what this is about.
Ms. Mason, based upon your personal experience, your advocacy, your analysis, can you weigh in on the same question, please?
I can just speak from my own experience, and my sister was under a temporary restraining order, and he did legally purchase a gun, which is what he used to kill her. So in our case, it would have made a difference if he wasn't allowed to legally purchase that gun.
Ms. Mason, so sorry for your loss. Thank you for your courage and commitment in joining us today. And Ms. Sullivan, ask you to respond to the same question, please. I know you may have a different view.
Yeah, I do have a different view, and I would agree with that officer that the restraining order is only worth the piece of paper that it's written on, and there are a lot of women that feel that way, and I think and we know this, is that when women get their permits and lawfully carry for the first time, they are citing defensive and home defense and personal defense as their reason for doing so. So I think that it's important to recognize that there are only so many officers present, right? They can't stand at our doors and they can't be everywhere that we are. So for many American women and women in my state, they feel that it is their own responsibility
So, Ms. Sullivan, just for clarity, and the officer was warning Ms. Paulson in this case that the TRO did not protect her because the law did not forbid her husband, who posed a direct threat to her life and health, from purchasing a firearm. Is it your position that a spouse or domestic partner or intimate partner who's had a TRO issued against them by a judge because of the violent threat that they pose to their partner's life or health should nevertheless be permitted by law legally to purchase a firearm? Is that your position?
Well, I think when we're talking about the restraining order itself, I think it's important to clarify that that is just a document. When it comes to this law and my position on this law, I think it is important to recognize that temporary restraining orders can and have been used to disarm women as well.
I'm so sorry, Ms. Sullivan, but I'm already over time, and I want to make sure that we have you on the record clearly on this issue. And it's a yes or no question. Is it your position that a spouse or a domestic partner or an intimate partner against whom a temporary restraining order has been issued by a judge because of the threat they pose to the life or health or safety of their partner should nevertheless be permitted by law legally to purchase a firearm? It's a yes or no question.
Until they've had a hearing and it's been determined they should be able to lawfully purchase a firearm.
Thank you, Ms. Sullivan.